Locke argues is that there's two legitimate and moral and ethical basis by which one can claim ownership of property. Either to mix one's mental and physical labor with unclaimed resources like that unclaimed land, unsettled land, or to acquire it through trade from another. And that's what we do in our society. I don't own the coffee plantations in South America and Central America from which I drink my coffee every morning, because coffee is the elixir of life. Now, I know that some people think that BC stands for before Christ. No, before coffee. And there was no life before coffee. I have that on a very high authority. Okay, no life before coffee. Okay? I don't own the coffee plantations. I don't own the ships that bring the coffee beans from Central or South America to the United States. I don't own the factory where the coffee beans are processed. And I like these flavored coffees, right? So how do they put the flavor into those coffee beans? I have no idea. Irish cream, vanilla, French vanilla, chocolate. How do they put that flavor in those little coffee beans? What, like a little syringe? I don't know how they do that. Anyway, some of them with little syringe. I have no idea how they do that. But I don't know the factories where that's done. I don't own the land or the resources that represent the retail stores where they can be purchased. And I don't need to own all this. I don't need to have settled these lands. I acquire it all through trade in the division of labor. What I do is that I sell that which I have. And I fundamentally only have my human labor. I'm a professor. I make my living by talking, and also some writing, but especially talking. Okay? That's my little, you've taken some economics classes. That's my comparative advantage. I'm a talker. So I sell that which I own, in this case, a form of my mental and physical labor in the classroom. I receive a salary from Northwood University. With that salary, I enter the marketplace, and I purchase and acquire all the other things that I desire from those who have settled the land, who do the manufacturing, the processing, the transporting of the finished items to the retail stores, so I can go into them and buy them. And then, having earned that money by supplying a labor service, my teaching in the classroom at Northwood University, I then have the ability to then use the financial wherewithal. His famous book, The Wealth of Nations, a system of natural liberty. Adam Smith, a system of natural liberty. Now, I was asked by someone during the previous Q&A what I consider the functions of government. And I said, police, national defense, maybe one or two other things that might be agreeable. But basically, that's it. That's Adam Smith's system of a system of natural liberty, where government have those limited functions to protect each individual's right to his life, liberty, and honestly acquired property. And all other human relationships are based upon voluntary agreement, association, and trade. And anyone is allowed to freely compete against any other person to try to earn a living in the marketplace. That is a system of natural liberty, as Adam Smith spoke about it in his famous book, The Wealth of Nations, in 1776. In this system of natural liberty, men start developing a system of division of labor. And in that system of division of labor, people discover that they're better at certain things than others. One, as I said, turns out good at being the butcher, the other the baker, the other the candlestick maker, the other the tailor, and they sell their specialized trades with each other. Why? Well, in this system of natural liberty that Smith talks about, he clearly, since he believes in police and courts, that people may not kill, people may not steal, people may not defraud. Now, if you can't kill and you can't steal and you can't defraud, what's left to get what others have that you want? You have to ask yourself, what is it that I could offer in trade? What can I specialize in? That others will value enough to give me in exchange for what they have that I desire. And each of them gives up something they value less highly to acquire something more highly. When I go down to the corner store in the morning, let's say, and I decide to buy the newspaper, and I put down, let's say, $1 for the newspaper, it's because in my mind I value the information that I might learn from reading the newspaper today more than the $1 I pay for. The resources that we acquire in one form or another, offer it in various forms of labor services or finished products to trade with each other as the means to get from others what they can do or can do better than ourselves, which we can't do on our own, in exchange for what we can reciprocally trade with them that they find better than if they tried to do it on their own. That is what the gains from trade are. There is no exploitation. Don't you, as the phrase goes, try to put your best foot forward? Won't you try to dress nicely? Won't you try to present your resume well prepared, looking professional, like you know what you're doing? Won't you try to impress the person interviewing for the job, that you're experienced, you're qualified, look at my transcript, these are the courses I've taken, so as to get the job and at the highest salary possible? Because other things I'll give them, would you rather get a higher salary than a lower salary? Of course, all of us would. Each of us are attempting to do that. The person who sells the newspaper is trying to maximize his revenue, the same way you are in the job interview to try to get the best salary that you can prove to the employment representative you can give to that company or corporation or business. We're all pursuing this. Now, does that mean that we always like the circumstances and conditions? Okay, I wish that there was a university that paid me, I don't even need $1 million, just $500,000 a year. But nobody thinks I'm worth that. That's life. Like I said, I could have gone into as a business economist. My son-in-law has a PhD in physics from California Institute of Technology, Caltech in Pasadena, California. It's the leading physics graduate school in the world, practically. Okay, he's making a bundle of money, not doing physics. He went into business. He works for a hedge fund in Manhattan. I'm trying to figure out, is it possible for your son-in-law to adopt you as his son so I can be kept in the style I've always wanted to be accustomed to? I just wish I was earning the amount that he pays in taxes. Right? You just make your choices. He's making a bundle, and I'm just a university professor. That's life. Because I'm worth what these people think I'm worth. They think he's worth what he's worth, and he's good at his job. Okay, now where does this all occur, these gains from trade? It's called the market. The market is that arena of society where people come together to trade, to buy and sell. But this is in the widest sense. Any setting in which individuals come together in this division of labor to offer their wares to their fellows is the setting of the marketplace. This is the marketplace. You paid some tuition to come to the College of the Bahamas, and they're offering you an education. That is the marketplace. You go to the supermarket in the literal sense to buy your groceries. That's the marketplace. There's also the marketplace of ideas, right? You go to the internet, you hear things, you read things, you think about things, you hear conflicting views and points of views. That's the marketplace of ideas. Any place where people buy and sell that which they value or want is the marketplace. It is the place where buyers and sellers come together, in which they interact for the provision of goods and services. It is the basis of everything that brings about this interaction. We live in a global marketplace, and it brings everything of the world to ourselves through this system of division of labor and choice and exchange and property rights.